It happened in the middle of a busy Monday morning, phones ringing, heels clicking, coffee machines humming. The front lobby of a massive tech company was alive with the rhythm of business. But amid all that noise, one quiet act of kindness spoke louder than everything else. A shy young intern, barely a month into her job, saw a visitor struggling, a deaf man, lost and confused, trying desperately to communicate with the receptionist who couldn't understand him. Most people just watched awkwardly. But the intern stepped forward and signed. What she didn't know was that the CEO, the notoriously private, hard-to-impress billionaire who rarely left his office, was standing nearby, watching the entire thing unfold. And what happened next changed both their lives forever. Emma was 22, fresh out of college, and terrified. It was her third week interning at Landon Tech, a Fortune 500 company in Seattle known for its cutting-edge AI innovations and its intense, perfectionist work culture. She wasn't one of those bold, confident types. Emma was shy, soft-spoken, and often faded into the background. Most of her co-workers barely remembered her name. She did her tasks quietly, stayed late to avoid the crowded elevators, and ate lunch at her desk with earbuds in. But there was something special about Emma that no one at Landon Tech knew. She had grown up with a deaf father. Because of him, she'd learned American Sign Language, ASL, before she could even read. To her, ASL wasn't just a language, it was love. That Monday morning, everything seemed ordinary. Emma was helping the HR team print onboarding packets when she noticed a man at the front desk looking anxious. He was in his mid-40s, wearing a worn jacket and holding a small folder. The receptionist, Heather, looked flustered, typing frantically and trying to guess what he needed. Emma glanced closer. The man was using his hands, moving them quickly in patterns she immediately recognized. He was signing. Her heart tightened. He's deaf, and no one understands him. She hesitated. Part of her wanted to help immediately, but the other part, the shy, nervous part, whispered, "You're just an intern. Don't interrupt. You'll embarrass yourself." But then she saw the man's face fall as he lowered his hands, defeated. That did it. Emma took a deep breath and walked to the counter. "Hi," she said softly, then began signing. "Can I help you?" The man's eyes widened. Relief flooded his face like sunlight after a storm. He signed back quickly, telling her he was there for an interview with the facilities department. His name was David, and he had arrived early but couldn't find where to check in. Emma smiled and signed, "No problem. Follow me, I'll show you where to go." As they walked down the hall, a few employees stopped and stared. The silent rhythm of their hands moving back and forth looked like a quiet dance amid the noise of keyboards and phones. Emma didn't notice the tall man standing near the corner, coffee cup in hand, watching silently. His name was Ethan Landon, the CEO. Ethan wasn't known for being warm. He was brilliant, efficient, and intimidating, the kind of man who could fire an entire department before lunch and still sleep soundly. People whispered about him in the hallways, calling him the machine. But as he watched the young intern help the deaf visitor with such gentle patience, something in him shifted. For the first time in years, Ethan didn't see data, charts, or bottom lines, he saw human kindness. Emma helped David fill out his forms and waited with him until his interviewer arrived. Before she left, David touched his hand to his chest, a simple sign for thank you. Emma smiled and replied, "You're welcome." Good luck. When she turned back toward her desk, she noticed someone waiting near the elevators, the CEO himself. Her breath caught in her throat. He was tall, dressed sharply, his expression unreadable. He gestured for her to come over. "You're Emma, right?" His voice was calm but carried that quiet authority that made everyone nervous. "Why yes, sir," she stammered, "I saw what you did back there." Her heart sank. "Oh no. Was I not supposed to leave my desk? She began. "I didn't want him to feel lost." "I'm sorry if Ethan held up a hand. "Don't apologize. That was extraordinary." She blinked, unsure if she'd heard him right. He continued, "I've been running this company for 15 years. I've seen engineers build world-changing machines. But what you just did, helping someone who couldn't even ask for help, that's something most people overlook." Emma didn't know what to say. Her face flushed. Then Ethan asked quietly, "You know ASL?" "Yes. My dad's deaf. I grew up signing." He nodded, thoughtful. "I see." Then, with a hint of a smile that few had ever witnessed, he said, "Keep doing what you're doing, Emma." And then he walked away. The next day, an email went out to the entire company from the CEO's office. It was unusual. Ethan Landon rarely sent messages himself. It read, Yesterday, I witnessed something remarkable. A young employee used her unique skill to help a visitor feel seen and understood. It reminded me that innovation isn't just about technology, it's about empathy. Starting next month, Landon Tech will launch a new initiative, free ASL classes for any employee who wishes to learn. The email ended simply. Kindness is the best language of all. Overnight, Emma became something of an office hero, though she never bragged or even mentioned it. Co-workers who had barely noticed her before now asked about ASL, wanting to learn the sign for thank you or good morning. The company lobby even got a new welcome sign, both in English and ASL, and as for David, the deaf visitor, he got the job. A week later, he stopped by Emma's desk, beaming, and signed, "You changed my life." Emma laughed, signing back, "No, you changed mine." Months later, during the annual company meeting, Ethan called Emma up on stage. The lights were blinding, and her knees shook. He said, "Emma reminded us that leadership isn't about titles. It's about moments of humanity, the kind that don't show up in performance reviews but stay in people's hearts forever." The room erupted in applause. Emma smiled shyly, signing thank you to the crowd, and then, to her surprise, Ethan raised his hands and signed it back. Thank you. After that day, everything at Landon Tech felt different. Meetings started with more smiles. Employees looked each other in the eyes more. The company, once cold and mechanical, began to feel human again. Emma didn't become rich or famous, but she became something even more meaningful, a reminder that kindness doesn't need an audience. Sometimes the smallest act, helping one person, speaking one silent word, can create ripples that reach places you'd never imagined. So, the next time you see someone struggling, don't look away. Step forward. Be the person who makes someone feel seen because, as this story reminds us, kindness doesn't whisper. It speaks louder than words. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who believes in kindness. This is Ripple of Love, where every story reminds us that the smallest acts can make the biggest waves. Until next time, keep spreading love, one ripple at a time.